welcome to Tea Time with B and Kit. I'm B.
And I'm Kit.
And today we're going to talk all about Valentine's Day.
Awesome. This is one of my favorite holidays. As you can't tell, I love anything pink, and I love love. And so I can't wait to talk about this conversation.
Same. I'm a Pisces, and I am through and through just live and breathe love. I love love. I love being in love. I love just everything about love.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about Valentine's Day itself now. So
I think to go with that too, I think that every human being desires love. So why not celebrate love? And so that's kind of like my hot take. Well, one of my hot takes on Valentine's Day. So how do we want to start this, B? Do we want to kind of go through some fun facts about Valentine's Day? Kind of break the stereotypes of what Valentine's Day is?
I think we should.
Okay, so what's your first fact?
Right. Let me grab my handy dandy notes. Oh. She says, you can go first. I've lost my time. Where are my notes?
Okay, mine is, this is going to be from the History Channel's Fun Facts. And so it's going to be called Wearing Your Heart on Your Sleeve. Is yours the same thing?
Similar.
This is why we're right here.
It's very similar, yes.
So, did you guys know that the term wearing your heart on your sleeve origins comes back from Valentine's Day? Smithsonian reports that during the Middle Ages, men would draw the names of women who they would be coupled with for the upcoming years on while attending the Roman festival honoring Juno, and they wore the ladies' names on their wrists, on the sleeves.
So sweet.
Isn't
I like
so
that.
Sweet. I was like, oh my gosh.
That is adorable.
Yeah, so that was like my fun fact. I was like, I never knew where that came from.
So, my fun fact is Saint Valentine wasn't one person. Yeah. So, there were multiple saints named Valentine, and historians believe one or more of them may have inspired the holiday, but there isn't like one specific person or saint that was named Saint Valentine.
Really? That's so interesting.
Yep.
Okay, and I love history. I'm a big history buff, and so I love anything about fun facts, history. Okay, this is gonna be for you, the box of chocolates.
Okay.
So the Valentine's Day tradition of giving a box of chocolate started in the 19th century by Richard Cadbury.
Oh, I love Cadbury chocolate.
A scion of British chocolate manufacturing family.
Mm-hmm.
And this new technique they had created it because they wanted an opportunity to sell some chocolates during Valentine's Day. So he is a genius because literally, what do we give on Valentine's Day?
Chocolate.
Yeah, chocolates. Mm-hmm.
I would like to say that British chocolate is better than American chocolate. We have to put that out there. I'm sorry, guys.
Yes.
It just is. Okay, so my next fact is Cupid was originally Eros.
Oh, like from the Greek mythology?
Yeah, and he was, the god of love and the son of Aphrodite.
Oh, is that why he's like a little baby? Because he's like this... Oh.
I'm assuming so, but
That's
I was
cute.
like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
That is, okay. So one of my favorite candies during this time are Sweethearts. And I love like the Cadbury eggs too, like little marshmallow filled. But Sweethearts, you know they started out as lasagna, like it's like
Lozenges.
Lozenges. I was like, how do you say that word?
Yes. Like a throat.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
Apparently, according to the Food Business News, an inventor named Oliver Chase created a machine that would quickly create the lozenges before switching to a machine that only created candy. And so he first started this, and the brothers came up to write little messages on these candies in 1866, and then they had little heart shapes. And so, those candies have been around since the 1901. Isn't that crazy? The heart-shaped candy with the little messages.
So it says kiss me.
Like kiss me or grab me or whatever.
Oh, hug me.
Hug me, yes. I thought that was so cool.
Okay, my next fact is, which is really interesting because I do love flowers, is the tradition of giving flowers on Valentine's Day back to the 17th century.
Really? You know what's so mind-boggling about all of this is how far back these traditions go back. It's not even like it's a current day tradition.
When people do think, oh, it is all commercialized and it's all just about bringing in money. No, like these traditions have been around for centuries. And
centuries, and then like people celebrated love, and even it's like times before there was even TV invented, commercials. Like we say it's commercialized, but these people used to do like all these sweet, like the men used to write their women's name on their sleeves.
That's beautiful.
The flowers, the chocolates even came out in like the 1900 or 1866 is when the little sweetheart candies started coming out. Like people, have you noticed like the trend of this? Like people celebrate love for such a long time. Like I mean, if you think back, like
and that's beautiful. I love that.
Wars have started because of love.
Yeah, I love that. that. So
I have one last one because I know that people love this one.
Go for it.
Do you know how the X's came from, like the XO?
No.
So it says the idea of using a kiss to sign off a Valentine's happened in long ago history. The X used to represent Christianity, the cross in the Middle Ages. And during the same time, the symbol was used to sign off documents. They would mark an X, and the writer would often kiss the mark as a sign of their oath. And so that's how it started becoming sealed with a kiss.
I love that.
I know. So I love our fun facts about history. What has been like, I guess, like your biggest hot take on Valentine's Day?
And this is from somebody that loves everything to do with love. Don't get caught up in Valentine's Day. Because for me, yes, it's nice to be given a card, some flowers, a gift, taken out to dinner. But my personal take is you should celebrate your relationship, your friendships all year round. And it shouldn't just be that one day where you treat your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever. Like, it should be all the time. Mm-hmm. So that's my bit, that just celebrate Valentine's Day, but also don't just celebrate your love on one day. Celebrate your love all year round.
You know, one of my, like, I think about that, and it's one of my love languages is gift giving. And so that's one of my high ones, you know? It's like my top two is that one and like quality time. But a lot of people, like for me, when I receive a gift, it's like, oh wow, it's because somebody's thinking of me. And to your point, it's right. It's like, I want somebody to be thinking about me like all year long, you know?
Yeah.
Not just on one day.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that people, especially men, I don't think men rate really highly with, you know, receiving gifts.
Yeah, that is something that whilst doing research was guys feel jilted in some kind of way because they are always on the short end of the stick when it comes to receiving gifts sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there aren't women out there that don't spoil their men, but there was like a high percentage of men that feel like, oh, I get, I don't know, a pair of socks, or
yeah, they kind of get like something like
just really
happy.
Boring and random when they're also trying to make an effort to, like, you know, I'm sure men would like receiving flowers.
I bet you they do. And like, I think that a lot of times, I remember one of my exes said this. He was like, "Oh, I don't like giving gifts because, you know, I don't like receiving gifts because I don't like giving gifts." And I was like, "Oh."
That's
I was like, okay, that's like a weird take. But I do think that a lot of times, like, they don't know how to receive gifts because they didn't receive that much when they may have not received so much when they were like growing up. Whereas like with us females, like we receive more and we're used to receiving, and it's more of like our feminine energy to receive.
I suppose men are more of the providers, but I just feel like if you are with somebody, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're with them, just if you feel like you want to gift a guy, even a friend, something for Valentine's Day, just do it. There's
100%, you guys. Like, I think that it's important. You know what? Write in the comments if you were a guy or if you had gifted a guy, what was your experience? I think that's really important for us to just
so we know what the male population out there, how they think about this lovely subject.
I know. 'Cause I do agree with you, though. I think that Valentine's Day, what it means, should be celebrated all year round. Especially,
it should.
Because you know what I think, and this is going to be a really hot take, is that I think if Valentine's Day was celebrated more year around, then more people are going to be feeling seen and heard, and I think a lot of the issues that we have in relationships would diminish because it's like one of those things that I see you, I hear you, this is what I've been thinking about you, and then what happens is all of that pressure goes onto one day, and the person falls short. Then your whole relationship just falls short.
Yeah.
You know, it's so many people break up during Valentine's Day. So many people don't want that pressure. And it shouldn't be that hot pressure.
It really shouldn't. And if you are the type of person to break up with somebody just because it's an occasion coming up, you're not a very nice person.
No. And girls, if your guy breaks up with you during this time, cut him out.
Yep, and do not ever, under any circumstances, take him back.
No.
He's showing you your worth to him.
Yeah, and then we don't need any red flags right now.
Thank you.
No.
Even though Valentine's is red, the red flag is not accepted.
Yes.
Ever.
Point blank.
Period.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of Valentine's Day, do you have... oh my goodness. Do you have any fun stories from Valentine's Day?
Of my own? Okay. I shared this with you yesterday, and I had completely forgot about this. When I was 23.
Oh.
This is 20 years ago. Precisely 20 years ago, Valentine's Day. I went to work. It was just a regular day, picked my daughter up from nursery, and walked into a house, and my mum opened the door, and that entire hallway was full of flowers. And I'm sure I have pictures somewhere, but I've never seen anything like it. It looked like a flower shop. Somebody had literally delivered a flower shop to my house. The card just had my name, and it didn't have the person who sent it, didn't write their name on it. It just had my name. And I called the florist, and they told me they were not going to tell me because of confidentiality and all of that kind of stuff. So I knew that these flowers were eventually going to die. So the following day when I went to work, with the help of my dad, we took, I can't remember how many bunches of flowers, and then handed them out to everyone. And I retold that story to everybody that got the flowers, and even they were completely shocked because A, flowers aren't cheap, and B, how did that person know where I lived?
Oh my gosh.
And still to this day,
crazy.
20 years later, I still don't know who sent me those flowers. And not just rose, these beautiful arrangements.
Wow. So they spent a pretty dime.
Yeah, and I didn't know who it came from, and plants included. I mean, we kept the plants, but the flowers eventually died. But it was such a romantic and beautiful gesture. I just feel like, would you not sign something would give me a clue?
Or put an initial or something.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, C equals this person.
Because if I had gone to all that trouble for somebody, I'm not saying when you give somebody a gift, you necessarily want them to thank you for it, but it is nice to know that
you can at least thank them.
Yeah, I never got the opportunity. I never knew who sent them to me.
I mean, that was a clear act of a love gesture. So this person was announcing his love to you But he was so scared.
Yeah, and I'm like,
to say who he
and
was.
I even thought that maybe they were sent like in error. But I'm like, okay, it came to my house.
I mean,
it came to my parents' house because I left my ex-husband at the time, so I was at my parents' house. So they knew I wasn't at my ex-husband's house, and they had my name. So I'm like,
oh, you had a stalker.
I was trying to, but it didn't happen. But this is the thing: it didn't happen on my birthday, which is in March. So on Valentine's Day, I mean, if that was you 20 years ago, who sent me an entire florist's worth of flowers, can you let me know?
Please tell us. Tell us so we can unsolve this mystery.
And only you will know how you wrote my name on the card. I'm not going to tell you how it was written. So only you would know. Because you would know.
20 years later, we need person to come out.
I need closure.
Come forward.
I need closure. I need to know.
Mama needs closure, and I need closure now too.
And I think everybody else does.
And everybody else needs closure.
20 years later, still don't know
who this person is.
No.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh. I never had like flowers like that delivered. I've had like flowers.
Girl, there was one time.
Like, how many flowers did you get kind of delivered to you?
No, that
like,
one time.
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe I've had flowers given to me on Valentine's Day less than a handful of times in my entire lifetime.
I've had a number of like flowers delivered, and then so I was like curious as I'm like opening my box. When I lived at home with my parents, my mom would be like, "Who sent this to you?" I'm like, "I'm trying to figure this out."
Girl, I'd be dead.
And it comes like a little teddy bear
like
that's
he
just
would
like
be.
love you, and you're like,
I gotta hide that shit.
Oh my gosh. I think for me, my sweetest Valentine's was whenever I had first started dating one of my exes. And at that time, like, my favorite colors changed. And so I used to love purple. And it was actually when B and I first met, like 12 years ago. And that ex, he made my own, it was like a heart-shaped ring with a little purple amethyst in it. And, like, it was so pretty.
I love that.
It was a really nice gesture. And then the box had like our names like engraved on it and the date that we met. It was a really sweet gesture. I was like, this is sweet. And then, I mean, even though after we broke up, I kind of sold everything. But, that was a sweet gesture.
I love that.
Yeah. Did you ever do anything crazy like for Valentine's Day? Like when you were in school?
Girl, no. If you know how I was brought up.
Yeah.
I have a very overbearing, overprotective brother.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, but you know this if you're watching and listening. And him being only 3 years older than me, he was a shadow and a pain in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me to do anything for Valentine's Day,
But you never
gave anybody a card. I'm sure I did at high school, but it really wasn't like anything that deep. Like, I wouldn't go and buy like.
No, mine's like stupid. Okay, so in our high school, like 9th grade. Okay, so I was like young,
like 14.
Yeah, like 13, 14 years old, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, this is so embarrassing. We had these.
Okay.
We know that this is going. So I thought about this and I was like, but I think everyone did it. Okay.
What?
Is they would sell like these little like stupid Valentine lollipops, and then like I bought ones for myself and I sent it to myself and I put your secret in my hair.
I never have done that.
You never. I mean, I feel like a lot of people did do that. If you did, and you're like me at that age.
No, I never did. It never even crossed my mind.
That was like one of my most embarrassing things.
I used to hate Valentine's Day. In high school especially.
Because everybody would be bragging
because
about it.
Although you get everyone coming in with like that single red rose and a teddy and chocolates and a card and whoever's together, whoever has a crush on someone, they would like. I was like,
oh, some of those people bought themselves that shit.
I was like, where's mine? And I mean,
now in hindsight, you're like, oh, they bought themselves it.
Probably.
Yeah. Now it's like making.
Yeah, but then why would you bring it to school? Like,
well,
you're bringing
everybody
them
wants to show it off. They want to show it off. Have you guys ever have you guys ever bought yourself some chocolate or candy instead of some for somebody?
No.
Well, obviously you never did it. That's cringy. Okay, speaking
That's
of
weird.
let's talk about some other people's funny stories. Okay.
So my story, well, it's not my story, it's something that I researched online. So this couple had been dating for 6 months. They are very outdoorsy, so the guy had planned to go on a hike. So they met at a park.
Okay.
He gives her a book, and she opens the book, and he is all about genealogies. So like,
like
family,
yeah.
So like your family tree, your ancestry, all of that. So he's like researched her entire family.
He researched her entire family?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
That's creepy. And it's only been 6 months. So he hadn't even met her parents. Like, he hadn't even met anybody. And he had literally, like, broken it down in this book. So he had told her it had taken him a long time. Now, for me, I'm thinking, if it taken you a long time and you've been together 6 months, even if it had taken you a month, so you started probably, at the end of the year, it took you all of January. What if you broke up? This is not where it's weird.
That's not weird. That's not.
No, it gets better. So she's like, oh, this is weird. But he was like,
this is the Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah. That's the Valentine's Day. This is part A of gift. So he hands her the book. There's all her ancestry. Like, this is your parents. These are your grandparents. These are your great grandparents. These are your great 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 great. Like, it went down. Like, and like how many children they have and how many children. Like, he had broken it down.
That's so creepy.
It's so creepy. Then she's like, okay, well, thanks. Kind of odd, but thank you. And then they go on this hike. And he rears off the hiking trail. And she's thinking, oh, he's got a surprise for me. He's like hidden something or whatever. Like, he takes her to a graveyard.
So he took her on a hike to a graveyard?
Yeah, and then he had a picnic basket. And
in the graveyard?
Well, he was holding it. So
okay.
She was like, oh, we're going to go and have a picnic somewhere. He's found like this really cool spot. And we're going to go eat our picnic. So he goes to a graveyard. Get this. He stops at one specific grave. And he goes, this is the grave of your great-great-grandmother. Or something like that. Like her great-grandmother. He goes, let's eat our picnic here so you can sit and think about her. He thought that was a lovely gesture. I think that's weird and inappropriate in some ways.
Okay,
and insensitive.
First of all, there's the one thing about background checking people, which I get. But this
you can never be too careful. But this is like
too far.
Yeah, like, and I love like somebody's interested in genealogy because I like that too. But I'm not like obsessed.
But he's not looking up your whole genealogy unless like you guys are together and you're like,
yeah, like if you were about to get married and then you want to do something fun, fair enough. If that was just a gift and then you went and sat on top of a really beautiful hill on a lovely day and had a picnic together and it was
like the sunrise.
Yeah, or something,
okay.
Then that's nice. But he took it too far where you went to the graveyard of the great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother and he was like, yeah, like it was like some old creepy graveyard and he was like, yeah, and then we can sit here and eat our picnic and you can think about her.
No.
That is not lovely. That is not romantic. That is yuck.
Guys, please do not take your dates to graveyards.
Unless you both like that kind of thing. And
I guess
people like some random
people like scary
people
stuff,
like weird random things and they might, I don't know, they might not find it romantic, but they'll be like, oh, that's cool. But I'm assuming at the 6-month mark, you should kind of know the other person's love language, for one, and two, have these conversations where you like, oh, would you be interested to know who your family is? Would you ever be interested to know where your, who in your family, where they're buried? Like, if that's something, and then if she says, yeah, I'm really interested in that kind of stuff, fair enough. But she was like, I don't really care for that. Like, that was his thing. And I was like, I will support you because that's your thing. I think that's weird.
That's weird. Too much.
And he,
Did they break up after?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because she was like, this is too weird. However, there's more.
There's more.
He reached out to her mum. Didn't I tell you in the beginning that they hadn't met? She hadn't introduced him to her parents yet. He had found her mother's number, and obviously doing all the genealogy stuff, he'd found out like where they live, her telephone number, all of that. So he had called her and was like, your daughter broke up with me and I did this, this and this. And her mum was like, that is the sweetest thing that so her mum
was saying that's so sweet?
Yeah, I was trying to encourage the daughter to get back with him, and I'm like,
the mom doesn't see red flags.
No, but this guy, find yourself a woman that would appreciate that. I'm not saying that was wrong for you. I'm just saying it's just wrong.
There is somebody for everybody. There is somebody for everybody.
100%. And it's okay. You can't force somebody to be with you. You can't force somebody to like what you like. But ultimately, that was weird. And that's why I didn't even need to look up my notes, because that thing was engraved in my head.
I mean, I can imagine, okay, like if a guy...
Engraved in my head.
Oh my god. Girl, it would be engraved in my head too.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
What's your story, girl?
Mine's gonna be, let's see, apology flower.
Yeah.
It goes, my husband and I are high school sweethearts.
Nice.
I'm 1 year older.
Mm-hmm.
We're both 19 when we got married before I turned 20 next month. During high school, I was in pep squad at our Sadie Hawkins prom coming up. His name was David. We had one class together, and we were not dating. I invited him because I knew that he liked me.
Mm-hmm.
I liked another boy. He was a really good friend, Gary. We could talk about anything, and I didn't want to ruin that. Anyways, David said yes, and she was happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
A girlfriend knew that she liked Gary, and
Okay.
without her knowing, she asked if he'd go with her, and he said yes.
Okay.
When she told me, I broke the news to David, and then said, never mind. He TP'd her house after the football game.
Wow.
Because he was pissed.
I mean...
So she went to prom with Gary. They had a great time. Afterwards, they tried to make out. But she felt like it was like kissing her brother. Which probably makes sense, because if you're really good friends with a guy, sometimes like that chemistry kind of goes away.
I still find that analogy very weird.
Oh.
Carry on.
She said it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for him. And they were just better off as friends. She felt so bad about David. So when Valentine's Day comes around, she said that, you could buy a flower to be delivered at anybody who you wanted in school.
Yeah.
Kind of like how mine
Yeah.
So she sent him a flower with an apology. That evening, he took her out to Pizza Hut. They made up. They started dating. And they've been together for 20 years. She married for 41 years now. It'll be 42 years in July. That is so sweet. Let's pause for a second because my nose is ready.
Yeah, just carry on.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know why. Okay. We gotta cut this part.
No, I'm going to keep it in.
That's hot take. Okay.
Right, what do you want to talk about next?
Okay. I think it's time, right? We can talk about, I think maybe do 2 stories.
We spoke about history, what we think about it,
Yeah.
our own personal stories, bad stories.
Okay, let's talk about what we're doing now for Valentine's Day. So for Valentine's Day this year, we are celebrating Galentine's Day.
Because who needs Valentine when you have Galentine?
We're gonna be enjoying. This is even if you're single, even if you're a guy, and go out, go celebrate Valentine's Day. Do a Palentine's. Like Palentine's is guys and girls going out, hanging out. Go do a Valentine's Day pub crawl. Like I get emails for that all the time. Check out your local city and see what's going on. Celebrate, because what you're celebrating is just love. Love that you have for one another, love that you have for your family, your friends, whoever. It's supposed to just be celebrated. And why not? You can always have a fun cocktail if you drink, or mocktail if you don't drink. You could be out getting some sunshine, because this February is feeling amazing right now.
Yeah, February is actually feeling very nice. Getting onto what Kate was saying about Galentine's and Palentines, it's really important for this time of year to really reach out to those that are single, alone, lonely, and just make them feel special. So invite out your friend who is single, or they're just homebodies, and just get them out of their comfort zone and celebrate each other.
Or you know what? When you said that, I was thinking about nursing home people. You know what? My favorite thing. Actually, Valentine's Day has always been one of my favorite holidays. Do you remember in school how you used to create like a cute little box and everybody put the little cards in?
Yeah, my kids are doing that next
You
week.
should do this is a fun idea. You should do Valentine's Day cards for the nursing home people. Oh, guys, we should do that.
We should do that. Volunteer, or just do some I don't know, just drop off some treats or something.
Pass some candy out to
we should look into that. Definitely see if you can do that wherever you're at.
Well, we are going to sign off now, but sending you guys lots of love.
Yes, and lots of kisses. Don't forget to follow us over on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
And comment below if you like this episode. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. And we can't wait to hear from you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.